telling you straight. It's my way or the highway. So anybody who wants to walk, do it now.
I'm your huckleberry.
I'm rich and I'm dead sexy.
Why are you doing it to me? Why? You know what? All right, we've got just too much show. I got to get started. I have to get started at some point. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Hello. Good to see you. What's going on? People, my people up there in the chat room. Good to see you. Happy Friday. I gotta say, thank Jeebus, it's Friday. It's been a week. It's been quite the week. And it's continually getting crazier. I have to say though, of all the presidents that we've ever had, we probably have one that's just really glad this week is over. And I'm gonna historically, what's the week? I'm gonna go with Abraham Lincoln. Was that this week? Is that the one? No, it isn't. I'm kidding. Hold on. Why are you doing that? Sound okay? By the way, everything's running. We got, I believe, our dear friend, the Boston and the Brian are going to be here today. Is he going to be with us in the second hour? Yes. Good. Excellent. So Boss Brian will be joining us to talk about a lot of this stuff. And there's a couple, we need his special World War II expertise a little bit because there's a lot going on in the fightings world, but also in the kind of European power struggle that's I just think it'd be worth talking to about. And we love his take. So he'll be on a little bit later. And hello. Excellent. It's a pretty great week. It is. And let's see, there's so much. I'm going to see do we bother even to look at the shitter trends these days? Because we haven't in so long, and it has kind of a thing. But Gene Simmons is trending, and that's always curious for me as a Kiss fan. What's happening? Why is hashtag? Oh, it's his birthday, because he was born in Haifa, Israel. That's right. Happy birthday, Gene. If I do say so my damn self. I remember very distinctly growing up as a kid, being one of my key male influences as to what it means to be a man. To me was, you could basically break down the essence of what I view as masculinity as a mix, and it. Obviously there's some mild shifting in it depending on priority, but basically Bruce Lee, Steve Martin, and the guys in Kiss. Like if you just mix them all together, that is. Also, one second. This is I don't know why today the weird magic noise comes back. It's just torturing me. That's all that's happening. They're just trying to be a big jerk. That's what's occurring, I think. Yeah. Anyways. I'll try and fix it as we go. Hopefully it's not too loud and painful. Anyways, yeah, and Angela, happy birthday. How Trump was not a real president. Yeah, he was technically. I'm not going to get into the realm of, of whether or not he's qualified and, as a human being versus the fact that he was legally elected president. I'm going to stick with that because I'm not going to fall into that trap. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, here we go. Let's go back to you guys. Hi. And I've got to get I'm going to have to get a button for that one now, too. Oh, I have so much work to do still. And then this guy, it just popped, oddly enough. Why would it go to the chat? It's so confusing. Because I changed it inside the computer. Oh. I'm, you need codes. Wait, today, Andrea? That seems weird. That was for Monday, I thought. Excellent. Brian out today. Monday, Bob and Tara. Yeah. Her Texas Paul waiting to hear back. I see. Well, Texas Paul would have to be on in the first, okay, second hour too. Tara third. Now I'm confused, Andrea. We need to straighten out who's where. Right, for an hour on Monday. And then, but that would be hour 2 then. We'll figure it out. We'll work it out. It's okay. I mean, I don't mind. I guess I can, you know what? Screw it. I can figure out a way to get 2 people in at once. I'm good with that. What could possibly be better? I'm just saying. I can make this happen. Anyways, happy birthday, Gene. And everybody's having to do the, and by the way, the next pop-up on there, if I may, is this business, is never surrender. I mean, did Trump write that? Yeah, okay. Second hour. Okay, I see. So both of them in the second hour. Okay, usually we'll try not to overlap, but it's totally fine. We'll make it happen. I'm good with that. Never surrender except when you literally really surrender. Okay, did he write? Oh, this is his thing. Oh, he tweeted this out. This is what he tweeted out his thing. Mugshot, August, election interference, never surrender, DonaldJTrump.com, so that he can, make money off of it. Man, that's fucking shitty looking. Yeah, that's never surrender. What's that? We have to get Oberman on here too. We'll talk to him eventually. Yeah. Meanwhile, the Ukrainians are actually trying to stay alive, and this dickhead is like, I will not surrender. Well, technically, for the record, that's precisely what you did. You showed up at court willingly. You surrendered for yourself at the police. That's what you actually did. He only tweeted one thing on, and because now he doesn't give a fuck. What do you think he's worried about his contract with the SPAC? So excellent. Anyways, next hour, Texas Paul and Dan Boston Brian on the show to discuss. I'm very excited. We'll make that happen. I have some graphic titles to make really quickly. Graphics and titles. Well, just titles, actually. They are graphic files. It doesn't matter. It just sounded like when I said graphic titles, there would be like naked pictures involved. And that's not on this show. Doesn't matter. All right. So he's selling t-shirts. And so is everybody else. Again, the best part about this is, fuck, man, it looks like he made it himself. Like, Jesus, get a Canva subscription or Adobe Express. I gotta say, Adobe Express, bringing up the fucking rear. I don't know. I messed around with that the other day. I kind of left it there because I use the hardcore Adobe stuff. I use Photoshop and Premiere and all that and After Effects and shit like that. Oh, and Tara. Yes, Tara's going to be on mid-hour this hour. Gotcha. Cool. Excellent. Okay, so now I definitely have to make some graphics. This is going to be exciting. Wait. Do I have it? I think I have a screen that I've been waiting to use that I don't actually get to use. Holy shit. Now I get to do, hold on. Let me go to this one. And talk amongst yourselves for a second. I use the hardcore Adobe stuff, whereas the Adobe Express was exactly that. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, you can do a little cute dust-uppy things. Now it's just a beast on its own. It's crazy. Can do so much stuff. And meanwhile, Trump's It looks like something off a mimeograph. Um, so let's see. All right, I'm gonna look. And by the way, while I'm looking for a file, tell everybody where you are, what's going on. Hi, welcome, chat room, and don't forget to like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. It's Housemarks Mornings Mega Worldwide, and it's about to get a lot more crowded, and I'm excited about it. Genuinely. Hold on one second. Okay, we get this. Then I go to Documents, and then I have to go to Stills and Assets, where I have all my things. Oh look, got it. Oh, good boy. I had a 3-screener. Where is it? Son of a bitch must pay. Do I do it that way? I could do it that way, but that's annoying. Oh, shit. Is that it? No, that won't work. Yeah, this will work. Okay. I got a good idea. Okay, so we go to, how do we do this? What's the easiest way? I guess. Yeah. Studio mode. Yeah, I'll do this one. Okay. Excellent. I just have to do some more names, and we'll be ready to go on this one. I got, okay, boss. And I have a, I think I have a Texas Paul one already made. Pretty sure. I thought I did. Let's see. It's under names, isn't it? I'm doing some big show stuff. Oop. Oh, that's not it. No, that's not what. Okay. And still need this. All right. Yeah. Looking around. Mr. Spock, how you doing? Mike's Mighty in the chat. What's happening? I'm making it happen. Don't worry. We got it going on today. I have to say, it just, everything he's doing just seems like a swing and a friggin' miss. If you look at, well, hold on. Now I have to go back to, now I'm going to fix this first before I move on, because it'll drive me crazy. Text. Here we go. And we'll go to, let's see, create new. We'll just add, I'm sorry, it'll be a little disjointed, but it'll look okay. Excellent. Okay, we go to here. I just have to, so good. What do you go? Semi-bold condensed. Is that too much, guys? It's too much, isn't it? Yeah. What's that? Ooh, that looks cool. That looks like old Apple. You can never go wrong with impact. That's what I think. That's what I think. And okay, click and we'll use that. Ooh, God, that's large. Okay, and then we will stretch it out and it'll be fine. Then I'll be ready for that. Whoop. Yeah. Okay, that'll work for the time being. Spot check, and then me and a guest by herself. Me and a guest. Where is it? Oh, I didn't make that one. That's right. But we'll just do this one then. Take this one, and we'll turn off the guy. No. Yeah, I'll turn this one off, and then I'll bring Tara's name in a second. There we go. Yeah, I did text on hers last time too. Okay, wait. Think. There we go. Excellent. Okay, and I think we'll be set. Yeah. Anyways, rip Portland. Okay, now back to where we were. Turn that back off. Now I'm good. Now we're ready to roll. And the codes for everybody is the same as last time. And so, yeah. Yes, we got it. But we're good, Andrea. I could fix this stuff. I could do this. I just did it. Look at, by myself. Like, if you, honest to God. Okay. So, I'm having 3 guests on the show today. Last minute. Super exciting. Arranged all of it. And have got the graphics ready to go on everybody. And still was able to keep the show on the air while I did it. This is stuff graphics people, like full-time graphics stuff, do it behind the scenes while the host is doing stuff, and I still managed to do it. I'm just saying. help. Become a Patreon subscriber so I don't have to do this anymore. All right. All right. And then I'm gonna send the link, even though we already have it and they already have it. I'm gonna put it in the staff chat if you need to pass it on to somebody. But it's the same as they use. I haven't. Luckily, I have not had to change it. So there you go. Up. Ta-da! Okay, there we go. Don't let that get out, otherwise I have to make a whole new page. Not that big a deal, really. Okay, now where were we? Oh yes, Trump was on the shitter. We were talking about Trump shitting his pants and being full of shit, and being highly shat. The great how does the whole like 215 like how many pounds you weigh, like it's just garbage. We'll talk. I'm gonna hold some of my thoughts on that till we get some other folks on. But I gotta say, whatever you think of the man, this is what he fucking posted. I mean, I guess there's some sort of like meta punk, like it just raw and who gives a shit, but it just looks cheap and stupid. It looks like he has no one around to do anything. It looks like they literally went, that's all you need. Just fucking do it. I'm gonna fucking do it. You know what I mean? Like he's just screaming at someone to post the face that says this. It doesn't need a bunch of stuff. Just put it up. Just put it now. We gotta act on it. We gotta start making money off this thing right away because it's not gonna last very long. The picture didn't turn out very well. I look like I'm melting on one side, and I look like they airbrushed my chin out, my jawline out of the other one. Like he should have squared off, but his nunt creates this weird little bobble that slips his jaw like that. Ew. See this right here? He's got the nunt happening. Did he sell Mar-a-Lago to Junior? Would love to see his taxes next year. I don't doubt he's going to start. All of his stuff is owned under LLCs. I don't know why they continually refuse to bring that shit up. When they're talking about it's just so weird when they talk about the LLCs, the 20 LLCs the Bidens have. Get this fuck out of here. Like every actor like on a television series of a major size, and I've always been on cable, but if you're on a broadcast television show and you've been on for a long time, like let me tell you something. Everybody on every Law and Order show has at least 5 LLCs for their real estate investments, where they start putting some of their money, if they have any fucking brains at all, they start putting their money towards that as soon as possible. That they even made a joke in like season 7 of Criminal Minds that one of the actors on the show was investing in so much real estate. They made a point to talk about how he's got like 2 apartment buildings. And his character does, because it was something he could chit chat about. They added it to the storyline, and that's the other thing. If I have any advice for if I may, actors, comedians, especially anybody who will end up on a television series, gather around. If you ever have any hope of being on a series, and I will be again, and hopefully I'll learn. I learned to follow it a little better, but anything you do that you like in your background and that you think is kind of cool and fun that you do, fishing, tap dancing, whatever it is. Do not mention it around the writers unless you want it on the show. Because all of a sudden you will be a tap dancing detective in season 9 because they can't, they're out of ideas, and they're like, is there anything we could spend about 8 minutes in the episode of him tap dancing for some reason. Maybe it starts in a tap dancing class and then a car crashes into. Yeah, let's go. All right, that works. Never. Don't do it. So many things have happened in my life where they're like, you do this, don't you? I'm like, don't, no. Yes, I do. My character would never do that. Quit it. Yeah, all right. So, hashtag Trump mugshot. That's, of course, whatever the Trump mugshot just dropped. There we go. It's the Lincoln Project. Everybody does. They're doing the hooray shot, which is hilarious. It's so easy these days. I cut birth control for 62.4 women. Anyway, yeah. That's the well. I think it's even like, where is it? I actually found that one. Oh, it's on my other one. Son of a fire. What I'm gonna do for women's health care, you won't believe. Was the quote. Yeah, we covered this. Going. What is this? He self-reported his weight as being 250 pounds when he was arraigned. Ha! Oh boy. 19 did you keep America Trumpless? There you go. Arrested? I'll drink to that. Yeah, that's the other thing, is that people don't like. It's good. This is going to be the next fight. I'm gonna have to make a Hal Sparks Megaworldwide mug, with his mugshot on it. Just because we're gonna want to see it. Like, there's going to be a competition now. How many anti-Trump? I mean, Trump doesn't get a dime of either side, which is fucking hilarious. Whatever he sells himself. But how many anti-Trump mugshot pieces of merch are sold versus, pro-Trump mugshot? And granted, a lot of maggots won't even bother to tell the difference. But that's going to be a big fight. Like, look, all these fuck Trump mugs have been sold with his face on it, or what, and okay, that's just mean. I mean, come on. Unveil his Trump's portrait. That would be so fucking good. It would be so, like, he can't sit for one right now because he's campaigning and he's got court. So, these are so good. I love how, like, Michelle leaning in on the side. Oh, it's so good. This is like, people just show me the mugshot. What? Oh, I see. Somebody like, okay, this was part of the Marvel ones. I mean, the DC ones that I was making. Ew. Breaking video released the Trump mugshot. Really? Bullshit. Elon Zuckerberg. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, this is all AI stuff. I mean, honest to God, it. Again, this is just AI shit, but it's getting a lot better, the AI stuff. So it's pretty tight. How it started, how it's going. There you go. Ooh, yeah. Trump released a statement. No, he didn't release a statement. He wandered over reporters, bitched for a second, didn't take questions. Rudy mugged. Ouch. There is he is Vigo. You're like the buzzing of flies to him. It's a heck of an accent. Where are you from, Janos? The Upper West Side. Yeah, I mean, I can't really tell because the quality of the picture if his eyes are super fucking dilated, but don't put our dear friend D'Onofrio in there, even as Private Pile. Yeah, see, everybody's using the AI things, the AI filters or pieces of software on it. I don't even know what that is. Oh, Joey Pags. Very dark day in the U.S. If you're celebrating, you need a clue. Well, tell us tell us, Joey Pags. Tell us how upset we should be. Yeah, but we got the main guy. I mean, he got arrested. He had to surrender to jail yesterday. So, I mean, that's a positive step, don't you think? Right. I mean, but that's what we get for letting Trump get elected and do what he did. And so, I mean, oh, there's no audio on that clip? Why would that be? Hold on. Let's see. Does it work on this?
United States of America, our representative constitutional
Is that better? Can you guys hear it now?
republic is under attack. No way on earth should this have happened today. This is not something to be laughing at or to think.
I think it is, actually. And as a matter of fact, I think the funniest part is that you somehow thought this would be smart or flattering, Joe. I'm just saying, I know vertical is it's a no-win situation for men our age. It's just the lighting's got to be perfect, or it's just going to look like we haven't slept in a while. But we're going to look like we're a little bagged out. That's it's just a thing. So you gotta put the work in, Joey. And I would suggest maybe use one of those filters that the Korean girls like so much.
Is funny. Even if you don't like Donald Trump, it doesn't matter.
It's not even that I don't like him. I certainly don't like him. I honestly, and I don't wish him physical ill. But beyond that, he's a rapist, and he's proud of it. So of course I think it's funny. Stupid. We're well beyond the sad fucking days, dummy. It's not a sad day that he got arrested. It was sad that he got fucking elected in the first place. Hopefully our faux-aggressive friends on the fake left have learned their fucking lesson, considering where the SCOTUS is. Some of them, I don't think so, but a vast majority of them have. So we all dealt with our sadness. Remember all those pictures that they showed from the Women's March and shit like that when Trump got elected in the first place, and they were like, ha ha, fuck your feelings. Remember that? Remember that? Fuck your feelings crowd? Yeah, we saw this coming. We saw that this was going to be, like, we literally had to live through an attack on the fucking Capitol so this dickhead could just get, like, baseline mugshotted for all the shit he's done. I'm not crying for the country. I think it's a good fucking sign, stupid. The king is not in shackles. He's a former government official. That's it.
Matter. What happened here makes us a third world country.
No. A third world country, he would still be in power, fuckhead. Secondly, if other versions of the third world country is he would have been in an airplane that magically fell out of the air. He negotiated his bond on Monday. He facilitated all of the paperwork through an assistant who was allowed to turn it in his stead. He stood for a fucking picture and he left. He had a fucking police escort in and out of the fucking building. He's going to get a trial. He will get to present all the evidence that he wants at that trial. And if his attorney doesn't do it, he can fucking, like Ted Bundy, he can represent his fucking self. This is not what happens in third world countries. This is the kind of statement said by somebody who's never been to a third world country, probably never a second world country. I'm serious. When has Joey Pags ever been anywhere but Europe, Canada, maybe a trip to the coast of Mexico or something? By the way, if he went to Mexico, like Ted Cruz, staying in the tourist areas and avoiding all the other areas. Still spending money down there. They'll shit talk Mexico all they want, but they'll vacation there. Yeah. And P.S., it's a ninth world country.
A ninth world country, not a third world country. A ninth world country.
Thank you. Not even, yeah.
Where somebody's persecuted, prosecuted, and taken to task.
Taken to task? And given what for? and getting a good finger wagging, young man. Okay, hold on. I got to bring in Tara. I think the hold on. Why is this not showing up yet? Is she with us? Hold on. Am I overshoot? There we go. Hold on. Make sure this is in here. Doop. No. Oh, there it is. Good. Okay, she is there. Hold on. I almost got her. Hold on. Let me get you. I'm gonna bring her in. There it is. Because this is one of those things where I it's so good. It's so good. Let's see. Where do we put this? Yeah, I'll just put it on. I think it's on the fill one. Is it? Yes, it is. Okay, good. Now we're going to guest one, and we put this in here, and we take this right there, and we paste this here, and we go okay, and then she should pop in, and then I transfer her over, and suddenly we have Tara Dublin with us, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, can I hear her? Does she say anything? Do we hear her?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, there you are. Yes, now I can hear you. Absolutely. Hi.
Hi, I can hear you, but I don't see you, and I'm not touching anything because I don't want this to fuck up anymore. So.
Well, I don't believe me. Let's see.
But
no, you'll see me. You'll see me in 1 second. Do you see
Okay,
any kind of screen at all on my end?
there he is.
There we go. See,
Hey,
ta-da. Hey, look at that.
Here I am for my
So
official
much-
mugshot.
That's right.
I'm 215 pounds and 6'3".
I don't
Can't
like
tell?
my broccoli. I don't want. Oh, that's nice. I don't want broccoli face.
Wait, let me get a vagina neck too.
That's true. Yeah, right.
Here, wait.
Everybody get your nut going. I can't even do that. I can do forced jowls if I go far enough back, but it requires.
Wait, I need my balls so I can sit down. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. No, let's all make a terrible mugshot face.
Yeah.
There.
You know.
I didn't do anything wrong. It was a perfect phone call.
Boo,
Anyway.
fuckity who. Can I just say? Can I just say for the record that the weird the best way I think to make if you want to make a Trump-like shot that looks just as bad as his, what you do is you take a Polaroid camera and you hold it like this. This is an old actor in the makeup trailer trick. And you take it like this and you shake your face. You just go and then you just randomly push the button. And the picture you get back will look somewhere between your melting or a Rocky just punched face. You know what I mean? Where you're like,
Yeah, very flattering.
yes.
Something you want to live in perpetuity forever
Yeah, throughout the universe
and haunt
elsewhere.
you for the rest of your miserable fucking life. That's what
Yep,
you want.
That's what you want.
Look. Duke is up. So Duke is a little constipated this morning and has been
Oh.
laying on the bed all sad.
Sure.
But the fact that he's moving is very, very
It's a
positive
good
right now.
see.
Oh,
see,
that's a good sign.
It's like Groundhog Day. It's like 6 more weeks of headshots or
Jesus
mugshots. That's what. So, hi. What was your? Let's just get. I just want your gut reaction because I'm glad you're here with us and it's lovely and everything.
Thank you and thank you and thank you.
Yeah. So what was your gut reaction yesterday as the fake one came out? We saw the fake headshot come out.
Oh, I waited.
and-
I waited until I saw it next to Rachel Maddow or whoever
Sure.
presented it on MSNBC because
Right.
it's the internet and everything is fake. So I
Yeah.
waited.
Good point.
And the first mugshot that circulated was just too flattering. It was just too.
Right.
It was
Well,
just it just looked too glamour
together.
shot-y for me. So I waited, and then I knew that when the real one came out, it wasn't going to be a good pic. I mean, there's no such thing as a good picture of him. But
Right.
when we saw the official one, I was like, oh, he mad.
Yeah.
He mad. And
Well,
the red eyes too are I think my favorite part
Yes.
of that photo are the I haven't slept since last August
Yeah.
bloodshot.
I'm
eyes,
fucking
and-
blazed on Adderall and whatever powder they're putting in front of me right now.
I mean, he's probably snorting something that was buried with Ivana. Who knows? Who knows? They need to exhume Ivana, by the way. Anyway,
That's another story for another time.
perhaps. But the
absolutely.
whole point is
Yeah.
that this guy has now been arrested 4 times.
Yeah.
And has over 90 charges against him. And there are still people who are like, Trump now more than ever. And it's like, really? Really, cult? what makes them go, oh shit, we really picked the wrong guy?
Well,
Nothing, I guess.
Well, it's
Look at that,
fascinating.
next to me. Look at that.
I know. Oh, isn't that great?
Oh, and he came back to Twitter. He came back
Well-
to Twitter last night, and I'm still blocked. So that's beautiful.
Oh yeah, well, and what? Wait, I wasn't. I'm sorry, but weren't they? Didn't they? He got rid of blocking, didn't he?
Oh, apparently not, because
No.
guess who also has me blocked on Twitter? Elon's mom.
Oh, well,
So when he
that I
was like-
believe.
So then
Yeah.
when Elon was like, we're taking away blocking, I was like, really? And showed him my screenshot of his mom's block. I was like, tell it to your mom, big baby. Still blocked.
Well,
I'm still blocked by Elon's
Yeah.
mom.
I had to create like a sock puppet account just to like relate tech, stuff from me to people. I created the Hal Sparks bot on purpose. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Which is an account most of them won't block. It's so funny. Even if it's you, and this is how stupid the entire kind of right wing, intellectual dork web on Twitter is that they'll block you, but if it says bot or whatever, they won't bother because they think, well, this just adds to my numbers. It's not really a person. So if you put the name like bot next to it, they'll just let it sit there and catch hell. And I've had Bongholio argued with it at one point. Like, it says bot, stupid. Like, it's just there is no back and forth, moron. Anyways, I just think
he
this
loves
is...
the poorly educated, because they are so
Yeah.
easy to continue to
Oh, of course.
grift.
Well, you
So-
don't have to tell me. I was there.
He didn't pay his own bond. He used a bail bondsman.
Yeah.
He will not pay for shit out of his pocket.
Well, that's...
ever,
Isn't that,
ever.
I mean, I have to say, that's probably the most Trumpy thing. I'm moving this around, so you don't have to, if you don't have to move, I'll
You
do
got to
it.
see the shirt. They got to get the shirt in.
I know, I'm
I
trying.
wore this for you, Hal.
I know, I appreciate it.
I got ready
Very nice.
faster for you than I've ever gotten ready in my life, and I put this on just for you.
Thanks.
Because
very
it's a
much. Good.
celebratory day.
It is. And that's the thing. It's like, I was just playing this Joey Pags video, this like AM-ish radio guy that Trump kind of likes, or that he's one of the Trump suck-ups that's out there.
Mhm.
It's really odd and sad, but he just posted a video like, you should be laughing about this. It's not funny. It's a sad day for America.
Wah!
Yeah.
Cope harder, Joey Pags. Cope harder.
Right. Okay,
it's
then-
a glorious day for America because it proves that the justice system in this country still works. It may move at
Yes.
a glacial pace, but it still works. And if you
And
commit a crime in this country, it doesn't matter who you are, you're going down. And
Right.
don't
And-
fuck with Fonny. Just don't
That's
fuck
right.
with Fonny.
Do
Learn
not.
it. Know it. Live it.
Yeah.
The Fonny
Oh.
kind of finding out. My favorite kind of finding out now.
Yeah. It's spectacular. I think okay. Zillow is reporting that that I don't know if you saw this, that Donald Trump sold Mar-a-Lago to Don Jr. for $422 million right before his arrest.
I did not see that this morning.
Yeah,
What?
with an unrecorded
What?
price seems greatly inflated. Trump bought it, furniture and all, unrecorded $10 million mortgage. There's a tax story, maybe a tax crime in this. But yeah, it says this is on Zillow, apparently. I don't know how, this has just been floating around. I saw this morning, the story that he basically is selling assets to, because if he refuses to pay the fine, they can seize assets. And the
Right.
primary assets in the United States, they're going to start with Bedminster and Mar-a-Lago, and then they'll work their way down to whatever the
Good.
LA.
Seize them all. Seize all
the-
his properties.
Well, that's the
Great.
thing. Because once they look into them, here's another problem he has that he made him fucking self. But if you tell the banks it's worth one thing and the IRS it's worth another thing, and that's another fight that's happening in New York already. That if at some point one of these courts says you owe this fine or whatever, part of your thing is you can go to jail or it's $50 million cash or property, and he's going to go fuck you, and they're going to walk down there and seize the property. That's how it works, or take over the. If they do that, then they get to look at they get to have their own assessment of the property, the worth, the resale value, all that kind of stuff. Because nobody's going to buy this fucking place for what he thinks it's worth. Because he thinks it's fucking, what's her name? It's like Gone with the Wind. You know what I mean? But they will never get my home.
You mean,
yeah, Tara.
You mean being named
I was
after
waiting
a
for you.
plantation?
I was waiting for you to.
It's not problematic to be named after a plantation these days. Not at all.
Well, Tara
It's
is
fine.
the name. Tara just means earth. You know, that's where the name
It
comes
does.
from. But
I want to go home to Tara. Will
Tara.
you take me to Tara? Yes.
well, that was the irony is that she ends up dying, and they, the idea is that she gets killed, and they bury her in the earth right there, so she gets what she wants. Just be careful what you wish for. It's a monkey
eventually.
paw story. But
Well, tomorrow is another day. It's fine.
yes. So-
first of all, they don't have $422 million. That's first of all, they don't have
No.
it. They don't have any money, and he can try. He's like a human card, game of 3 card Monty, right?
Yes.
Look here, while I move this over here. Look here. He's just the shell game, right? Shell
Mhm.
game with shell companies. So he's fucked. He's just fucked. Is basically the bottom line. And it really doesn't matter where he moves his pieces anymore because they're all going to fall off the board and they're all screwed. This is when I can just keep throwing metaphors at you. The chickens
Sure.
are coming home to roost.
Bruce, yeah.
They've run out the clock. The walls have closed in. He got nothing. He's got nothing but a future of fighting all of these charges.
Well, again, you're getting into a situation where a guy who has pled that he has the best of everything, is the best of everything, is the greatest at everything, has to plead poverty and weakness is his only way of getting out of this. It's the only escape.
A brand new lawyer. Get a brand new lawyer the day you're going to be arrested. And then after you get that brand new lawyer on the day you're being arrested for the 4th time, please also make sure you lie when you are filling out your booking form. Lie while you're being booked, because that's America. What the fuck? Think of the audacity and how far gone you are and how toxic your narcissism is if you feel like it's okay to lie on your booking form the 4th time you're being arrested.
And by the way, if you're going to do it, lie about your address like the Blues Brothers and listed as Wrigley Field. But lying about your weight is like such a middle school kind of like vanity level. The intellectual vanity of this man is so fucking petty.
All he cares about is the visual and what people are
Appearances.
saying and the appearances and the lasting impressions, which is why I'm really upset that they let him keep his hair on for the mugshot. They should have taken off anything that's fake, taken out his fake teeth. I wanted to see.
Well, he's not wearing dentures. He gets this according to Haberman and all the insiders. He has veneers on all of his teeth, top and bottom, and
so he can't take those out.
Yeah, he'll take those out. But he gets apparently he doesn't brush with any regularity, and he doesn't take care of his teeth. So he gets them redone about every 18 months to 2 years. He just goes in, and they just take them out. And he might have implants, and they just unscrew them and put in a new one, and unscrew them, put in or something. But he gets his teeth rotated, and that's why he had the time before last. He had gum swelling or something because of it, and that's why we got God bless.
Imagine how bad his breath must be.
Oh,
I mean, between his horrific diet, the constant drug abuse, yelling and screaming. It's dry in there.
Acid,
it's
old man acid breath. Look,
stomach stuff. He is what? He's like the crypt keeper, but no one told him he died a year and a half ago. It's just all he is. I mean, he's just sundowning in real time, right in front of us, and people are like, "That's my guy." I'm so proud to support Trump. Yay! What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know.
They're not allowed to be offensive, unfortunately.
What? And then everybody on the debate stage was like, "Yes, I'll vote for him, even if he's in prison."
Right. Well,
What?
I think was it Chris Christie and Ada Hutchinson didn't. So that's
Okay, good.
progress. And the weirdest part was Nikki Haley doing it. Now, I was going to cover those things, but then his mugshot and all that shit came out, and that was the whole show
Right.
yesterday. But
Right.
Did you watch the debates?
I
Because I watched
watched
pieces of them
all
because
of
I
it.
was going to watch them
No,
live. Yeah. Yeah.
I watched all of it. I watched
Oof.
all of it. Oh my God. First of all, that's the longest I've ever watched Fox News, like ever.
Right.
And watching
I wish I could say
them,
the same.
oh, it was actually an interesting experiment in my own human endurance
Yes, right.
because right? Because I watched like before it started, I listened to all of the bullshit like when they began their pre-gaming, the
Right.
first thing Bill Hammer said was, "It's debate night in America and Joe Biden is on vacation." It's like, fuck you. Like,
You're
come
right.
on. And good for him. Good for Joe Biden. You know what he did that day? He worked out. He took a Pilates class. He took a spin
Right.
class, enjoyed a nice smoothie. And then
Yeah.
Donald Trump got arrested. It
Right.
was a beautiful day for a
And
Democrat.
you forgot he commented on the fact that Prigozhin's plane fell out of the sky.
Well, it's if something happens in Russia, it's usually Putin's fault.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all the man had to say. And so he's out there being all healthy, took a spin class. Donald Trump has never learned to ride a bike because no one loved him enough to teach him how
Right.
to ride a bike. So the debate stage the other night I found fascinating, just from a sociological standpoint, because they all have Stockholm syndrome still.
Right.
Still. And I want to know, except for the two people who didn't raise their hand, I want to know what Trump has on all of them, that they will remain loyal to him even now, that
See,
they choose him over their country even now.
I got to tell you, he has nothing. You know who has something over them? The MAGA voters, that block of voters. They have to play footsie with those assholes right up to the day. Because if Trump drops out, they want to scoop up as many of those as possible. That's all that part is about. Because none of them, like maybe, I don't know, maybe Tim Scott, maybe one or two others think that they're going to be VP next time, and that'll be the move, right? But or even Mike Pence raised his hand, and the reason they're saying that is because he wants those MAGA voters. Like, I said I would vote for him. He just can't now because he's in jail, or he's had a series of ischemic strokes from the stress and the shitty diet.
Yeah, I'm
right?
waiting for that too. I'm waiting for the ischemic stroke or the heart attack or something, because
I don't
he may
wish
be a
it on.
svelte 215, but
Yeah, well, that's the
The
problem
stress.
also, is you create this idea of him as this, like, Superman, this Ubermensch, the way, what's his name, Ronnie Jackson did. And then when he does have a very obvious, predictable health emergency, which he had a couple of them during his presidency, then everybody's like, they're trying to murder him. Like, even Tucker Carlson brought it up during that stupid fucking interview. Like, they're not going to try and kill him. He's just going to keel over on his own, like the slovenly fat bastard that he is. He doesn't take care of himself.
Death is too easy. Death is too easy a way out. I do not wish death for him. I wish him no peace until that moment comes for him. He may never sit inside of a jail cell, but he will be fighting this for whatever's left of his miserable life. This will be plaguing him for whatever's left. He will be preparing for court or sitting in court for the rest of his miserable life, because how many trials is he facing this year? How many trials is he facing up until
not just the
November
indictments.
2024?
He's got the civil.
Seven?
Yeah.
Doesn't he have 7 trials between now and November 2024? That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of doing court stuff. And perhaps people should maybe reconsider their loyalty. Also, I would love if the FEC would just maybe take a moment and go, perhaps we should change some rules about who can run for president now. Because if you have 91 charges against you and 4 indictments, perhaps you should not be allowed to run for president. Just a suggestion.
Well, no. I here's the thing. I would be fully against them setting a rule there if you're being charged with something that you cannot run for president anymore. Convicted, yes. But
Convicted.
It would be too easy for this crowd, if they ever regain the reins of power, to just charge somebody within 6 weeks. This is why, this is my issue with the voter ID issue, because I believe there should be a nationwide ID that every American citizen gets, and you can use it to vote. And if anybody steals it or misuses it, automatic 5 years in jail, and you just
Sounds good to me.
Everybody's cool, and everybody gets one for free. You get one, and then you can use it as your standard ID for getting credit and all this other stuff. But you can, if you don't want to use it, you want to live in a fucking shack like the Unabomber, you don't need it. You just, they don't even, you don't need it to be buried. So at the end of your life, so who gives a shit? But if you need an ID, you have one, federal, all that. paid for by the federal government. Everybody gets it for free, and no state entity can take it from you. Only the federal government can withhold your ability to use it to travel abroad or travel someplace if you're a criminal or whatever, if you're a felon. The reason they're against that is because the Lord said, "The mark of the beast, and the mark of the beast you will not be able to buy or sell a thing if you have the mark of the beast." Right, that shit. Which is just
How many cults? How many cults can people be in? Is there a punch card? Do they get a special like plushy toy if they sign up for additional cults? Because it's insanity. It is insane to me. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I get loyalty. Loyalty is great. You want to be loyal to somebody, that's fine. That person's not rewarding anybody's loyalty, is he? Is he paying anybody's legal bills? The only thing that he's doing is trying to raise
Rudy
money
went
for
to a bail bondsman too.
Giuliani.
Right.
He's trying to raise money for Rudy Giuliani with $100,000 a plate fundraising dinner because he's afraid of what Rudy Giuliani is going to tell Fonnie Willis. What else? What else? I mean, I don't think she needs more information, but what else could Rudy know that he hasn't shared that could further sink Trump is what I'd love to know.
Well, you got to remember that, like, was it a 3-day arc of the storyline where Rudy was starting to get in trouble in the very beginning of all this bullshit back when Trump was still president, and he's like, I know where everything, you know, I forget what the direct quote was at the time, but he was like, you know, I have, you know, blackmail if I need it. I have a, you know, he
knows where all the bodies are buried.
Yeah. He laid that thread out there. Oh, we got Texas Paul's waiting in the wings.
Hey,
excellent.
Texas Paul. Yeehaw.
We'll bring him in just a moment. But before I let you go and we shift into the next hour, you're still on shitter.
I am, and I will stay.
Right. Me too.
I'm not letting the fanboys run me off. Fuck that.
Right. It's going to get sold off, and then a bunch of people are going to jump back to it or whatever. But are you on Threads as well?
So.
Or
I'm
Instagram?
not on Threads. I lost my Instagram account several years ago because
of an act of violence. Yeah.
Well,
you're a dirty person.
I'm so scary. I dared post screenshots of my harassers and got booted in front of Instagram for harassment.
You're a genuinely dirty person.
Right.
I'm so scary. I'm terrifying. And I'm also currently still not employed. So I would love to get a job writing about politics or talking about politics or back on the radio where I belong or selling that book I wrote. Selling that book I wrote would be delightful right now.
I agree.
All of this visibility, and I'm always so grateful when you invite me on because we get to have a good talk, but then more people get to find out that I exist. So that's always nice too.
Well, we're gonna keep at it. So here's what I would suggest going forward. If you want to join me on the regular, we'll find a slot to fit you in, and we'll make it happen. You know, and before you know it, we'll all be part of a giant crew.
That sounds amazing to me. Let's take over the world.
Excellent. Okay. Oops, I lost Boston Brian. He was in and then he was out. It comes and goes. We'll figure him out in a second.
Do I need to put a city in front of my name because we got Texas Paul and Boston Brian? Do I have to be Portland Tara? Because
because Portland doesn't exist anymore. Portland, rip Portland. Hashtag rip Portland. Everybody remember?
I can be Jersey Tara.
That's true.
Jersey Tara.
You sound a little more like Jersey Tara. Jersey Tara is somebody who gets their Instagram taken away for the kind of stuff you do. But
Jersey Tara
anyway,
is still blocked by Trump on Twitter. So,
I mean, points of pride. I guess now that he's active again, you could. Right. Yeah. Now that he's active again, you could. So, you could,
I'm still
now
blocked.
It means something.
I'm still blocked. So, I dare you, Donald Trump. I dare you to unblock me and chat with me on Twitter where everybody can see it. I dare you. I triple dog dare you.
I think he would chicken out if he did hear that, but I know he doesn't. He's not hearing it because he's in mid deposition, probably on his 8th case.
On his gold toilet.
Oh, come on. Why do we?
I predict him going out like Elvis. He's going to go out like Elvis. And they're going to find him on the floor in front of his gold toilet with his phone still clutched in his tiny, tiny little hand.
Ever since the Twitter shit, he started yelling. He has other people write him down. That's why that graphic was such shit. It's why a lot of it he dictates statements. Now that he's been president, typing his own tweets are below him. So he tells somebody what to truth for him.
Yeah, they're still gonna find him on the floor in front of his gold toilet with his phone curled up in his tiny shriveled orange hand. My prediction.
It's
like
a spider monkey that found an iPhone 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Or like at the end of the monkey's paw, like he wished for things and then it came back and killed him.
That's right. Only Donald Trump was a big enough loser where he could actually become president, and it was the worst mistake he ever made. Everybody, give big love to Tara. Follow her on Shitter for until she turns the tide and owns the place, or we all chip in and buy the joint. We'll figure out something. But I'm just not going to pay Elon Musk. They can put his shit in a trust or something like that. Anyways,
not up to us to save his bad investment.
We're going to work out a regular spot until you get,
Sounds great.
another job and bored of me. All right. See you later.
Good. I'm never going to get bored of you. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
You do, and you'll clean it up. Okay. All right. Give me a second. I'm going to bring in our dear friends, Boston Brian and Texas Paul, because I got the whole map covered today. This is exciting. Hold on, because I think this deserves a round table. God damn it. Let's see, this one and this one. Yes, okay, good. So now I gotta copy some links and then I get this done. By the way, if you're enjoying the show, like, subscribe, all the stuff that you're supposed to do with stuff and the thing, and do the thing, do that stuff that I'm supposed to say all the time that I always forget to say, but I eventually I will learn, because we've got to get. There's so many of these. You know what inspired me to get on the Patreon and all that kind of stuff was the fact that at one point I read that. What's his name? The Canadian professor, Jordan Peterson, was making a $125,000 a month on Patreon, and I was a month. Yeah, you heard that right. Boston Brian and Texas Paul joining me right now. How are you? Live on the show, and good to see you. And guys, how you doing?
What's happening?
I'm just excited. This is like a real show. This is really cool. $125,000 a month he was pulling down.
To cry about how much the white male is being oppressed?
Yes, well, the Canadian white male, which sounds, if you say it like that, it sounds like a form of goose. Yeah.
Well, if you don't know.
Yeah, right. Everybody calls him Kermit the Frog. Even on the intellectual dork web, everybody calls him Kermit because he's got that kind of no, gosh, no, it's just no.
I don't know why I'm crying.
No. Anyways, welcome to the show, Texas Paul, Boston Brian. It's so exciting to have you guys with me today. So let's just go straight across the board. Instant thoughts on the mugshot and the turn-in yesterday. I'm sure you guys watched it live. Texas Paul, have at it first. What was your reaction right out of the gate?
Oh man, yesterday was wonderful, man. I mean, I celebrated all of yesterday biblically. I mean, it was just
right.
I mean, watching it, I watched the whole thing from his plane taking off to his plane landing. MSNBC covered it all, and I don't know, man. Everybody's like, well, why are you giving him news coverage? I'm like, well, shit, this is the stuff I want to watch, man. This is what I want to watch. But as far as the mugshot's concerned, yeah, that was a grift. He planned that. He practiced that. Sure. He had those shirts available way too. You want to see a mugshot? Look at Trevia and Cootie's mugshot. You can smell the psycho on that mugshot. That is amazing. I mean, she is. Whew.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. What is the Peters, the woman who helped, Mike Pillow, like she escaped. She ran from Colorado and he was hiding or whatever. And like her mugshot looks like she's like she's walking down the stairs waiting for her close up. She's I can say anything with my eyes. Most of these folks would have to be nuts to follow him. Now we've had news that one of them is turned already two of them in the last 48 hours, but one in the last 24 hours. And finally, has said, all right, fuck this. What do you need to know? I gotta put an end to this. I'm not going to jail for this dickhead.
Oh yeah, he found out that his lawyer was actually trying to help Donald Trump's intentions instead of his. You know what I mean?
Right.
He didn't have his back. He had Donald Trump's back.
Well, that was the tech, the IT guy, who in the indictment you can see was really not on board with the plan. If anything, he was the Mike Pence in this situation. I might work here, but I'm not going to throw my fucking entire life under the bus for this dickhead, right?
Yeah, but you got Stanley Woodward that's just screwed over that situation because, I mean, Yusko Tavares, went in to that grand jury and lied his ever loving ass off back in March. Forgive my language. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with you, Alan. Yeah, but
it's
he
all right.
went
It's
and lied his
and you're allowed. Yeah.
Unlike his radio show.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then.
Unlike Boston Brian, who says shit twice on the radio like a heathen. Poor fella. So yeah, it's all right. It's totally all right.
But yeah, man, but Tavares went in there, lied his ass off to the grand jury. I mean, he's no babe in the woods. He knew what he was doing. I mean, nobody forgets in the middle of this climate that Donald Trump came to you and asked you to delete video footage. I mean, and I don't care if it came through De Oliveira. I don't care who it came through or how. You don't forget that. So to sit and say, this just doesn't ring a bell with me. I don't know for the life of me. What are you talking about?
Ma'am, if I may, can we, because the videotape was actually rolling, maybe this will refresh your memory. If they play the tape of them with flashlights in the fucking thing. Yeah, that's a camera. That's it. That is. Yeah. There's one in there too. I found another one. Oliveira, come here. Yeah, see this?
Yeah.
God damn, you're right.
The
They literally, I mean, they were shown footage of them walking around and talking about this. Right? That's what everybody's.
Yeah, right. Next thing you see the.
It reminds me of like Spies Like Us, where they're playing the video back of them, and he's like, heart attack, and falling on the ground. I am a trained cardiopulmonary resuscitation. This man needs air, and then they cut to the close up, and he's cheating off the test, like literally copying the answers. And he just shuts the TV off, and he's like, what do we get? Review, suspension, jail, what?
Well, the audio is him going, we gotta kill these cameras because we don't want to get caught and arrested for the crimes that we committed.
Wait a minute, they're running now? Right. So, I mean, again, this is one of those things where I have to point to the fact that we all need to be happy about this, honestly, because but for the fact that these guys are idiots, they might have gotten away with it. These guys were caught by the crazy teenagers and their ridiculous dog inside their own head. They're such fuck ups that they couldn't even pull that part. Like, they couldn't even go, let's go take a look where the cameras are, but try not to look exactly where they are, but we'll keep track of that. Somebody bring a yellow pad and we'll look like we're looking at concrete or something and just walk around and go, yeah, there's one up there. See that one?
Or
See
don't
that one
move
right there?
all the boxes the day before the other people are supposed to come inspect it,
Well, he had to move him back because he's a lazy, dopey son of a bitch. So that's the okay. So we didn't get Boston Brian.
Man. I mean, you're talking about how terrible these guys are at criming. I mean, just how terrible.
Yes.
They move the boxes. Then when they moved them back, they put them in the same shitty spot. I mean,
yes.
you would think that. I mean, you went to all the trouble.
Diet Coke in that Iran document, please.
You would think that they would have taken that opportunity. Maybe we should put these somewhere. I don't know. We're already moving them. Now put them back in the shitter.
In all fairness, Texas Paul, they were supposed to be in the room, right? They were supposed to be in the room where the lawyer last saw them. In relatively the same area, but they did change the tops, though. Part of the testimony from Waltine was that he bought new tops for the boxes because Trump in his dumb fucking Sharpie fixation wrote top secret, good stuff, sellable, hashtag this'll get me in good with the Saudis. And he'd written something on the top of the fucking boxes. Like an asshole.
This one holds the real stuff that'll get me locked up forever.
Jesus Christ. I mean, honestly, there's so much to this, but we didn't get Boston Brian's take on the actual mugshot itself. I'm sure you saw the fake one.
I thought it was, like I said, it was all really fairly planned out to begin with. He had that ready and his height and weight, and I watched it, but I don't know. I have a problem with it, and I understand the coverage at the same time. It's like obviously it's an historical moment, so at one point you do want it covered that way. Another way, you don't like the guy, you think he's a son of a bitch, so you don't want him to have the coverage that it that it comes with it. So it's like it's a give and take. I think the Fulton County Sheriff's full of shit, if I do say so myself, because if you go ask anybody that's ever been arrested in that jail and has been in and out of there in 12 fucking seconds. I'd like to meet the guy because I don't think it's ever happened, really. So he wasn't really treated like every other guy.
That's Epstein treatment right there. That's like I mean? They give you a key to the you have to do weekends, and we give you a key to the jail in case you need to let yourself out.
And then with the motorcade, it's like instead of having maybe 2 or 4 or maybe even 6 motorcycles, they could have fucking 75 motorcycles leading the way. It's like it was kind of a show-off event for Fulton County at the same time. I don't know, but I like to see his ass having seen some accountability no matter what. So I think it was a great day.
Well, do you think
anybody says you can't be happy about it, you can't be smiling about it, fuck off. I am.
Right, seriously, super fun. But do you think part of the reason they had the motorcade and made such a big deal of it because they didn't, Trump is not very popular in Fulton County, and he almost, I mean, if you think of one person that he's singled out for violence, Ruby Freeman and Shane Moss have been on the receiving end of more direct attacks by this guy, and there are people that know them, lots of people that know them, and people who
how
know
many
that
times
they
did
know.
you say their name directly in that recording?
Over and over again, like Arizona, whatever, and even the like politicians he named at least have security or have the ability to call the FBI directly and go, okay, we've gotten heightened threats, and it's because it's on their government email more than likely, or their government phone system that they get these threats. But these two, they said Kanye's publicist after him. These people were scared to death. So he's driving through a county full of people who know somebody who's somebody's cousin of Shay Moss or Ruby Freeman, and was like, so do you think it was like they're just being safe and making sure nobody goes, fuck this dude. If he showed up in 3 vans, we could probably pop him like gangsters, like a beef. And
no, I
and
get
so
it. I get it. But like I said, as to the amount, I mean, you could get him through the city the same way with 6 motorcycles as you could with 60. I mean, at one point, it hinders you more than it helps you get through the city. The more motorcycles that you have, you get through quicker with less.
So it was effectively a show of force.
To be honest, the elephant in the room is that your average Atlanta white male cop, motorcycle cop, is a Trump fan. I mean, they were glad to be there. This was voluntary. I assure you. Nobody said, let's get 37,000 motorcycle cops for this one motorcade that 4 could handle, but let's put 94,860 freaking motorcycles out in front of this damn. No, they were all like, me.
Yeah. Right. Well, then it's up to the sheriff to say, no, we're not going to make a spectacle out of this.
Exactly.
Actually, we'll get through faster with less people. You know what I mean? At some point, I don't know. It's just, like I said, I know it's historical significance in one hand, and the other hand, the guy's a cocksucker, and you don't want him to see. You don't want him to get the whatever it looks like, the attention,
the free press,
grandiose arrival. You know what I mean?
Well, he's gonna.
Enough isn't being said either about Trevian Cootie. I'm telling you, I got to burn my saddle about her today.
Sure.
She's a freaking psycho. She went to Ruby Freeman's neighbor's house.
Yeah.
And told the neighbor she was a crisis. She told the neighbor that she lied to the neighbor and said that she was a crisis manager for Ruby Freeman. So tell me all the dirt you got so I can get ahead of it and you can help your neighbor. I mean, she's a psycho, man. She is.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find the pic. Yeah, her headshot does look like something out of. Let's see, I gotta change these.
Did you see Marjorie Taylor Greene put out her tweet with her face and looking like it's a mugshot of the same?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. They kind of gotta. You know what I mean? Like there's no other way to handle it in this modern media sphere, right? At all is that you've just got to be a complete jerk, or like you got to sell it. You got to go. I meant to do. It's the I meant to do that presidency. That's all of Trump's stuff.
It's like they're trying to water down the significance almost. You know what I mean? If they can flood the market with their own shirts and their own cups, they'll think that we won't think it's meaningful at some point, so we won't do it.
Exactly. This is, by the way, this is the Trevian Cootie's mugshot. Yeah, she's trying to look. She went full Joker on that one. Yeah, she's just like which is
I feel like they all did the same thing. They all knew that these mugshots were going to be used everywhere, so they would, the same thing Jenna Ellis did. She's now got that that's her profile picture on Shitter. You know what I mean? So they had it all planned out, knowing that they were going to try to use it probably to get money for their defense fund or whatever they're they're raising, their GoFundMe's and whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah,
but I mean, you have a lot of these folks. This is a massive undertaking by the Fulton County, DA and their investigatory body, and the interesting thing is everybody is going like she's ready to go in October. She's ready to go with this case, largely because it's been 2 fucking years. They know what the details are. A lot of these people have been deposed.
Do you have any worries that it's too much though at all?
No, I don't, because No, because
simple, straightforward charges. This is an easy case. Yeah. This is not a hard.
No, I just mean in the amount of people involved and the amount of interactions that has to happen between.
Well, the only issue a DA would have in this situation is if any of them individually have exculpatory evidence where they told someone in good faith that's a government official or on tape or someplace that I'm just bullshitting these folks. This is never going to work, but I think I can get a job this way. Now, that won't get them out of the charge of, what they're going through the way they think it would. But if they were like doing it and then informing, they could probably weasel their way out of going, no, they asked me to do this and that was a line too far. When setting up the fake electors, for example. So you set up the fake electors, there was a point where having electors ready in case the count goes the other way is totally cool. The problem is, and this is why like Ari Melber, if you look at his like red light, green light, or his green light, yellow light, red light thing about the crimes that they committed, why the elector scheme goes from green to yellow to red across the entire thing is because it is like, and they bring up this Hawaii case. Remember the Hawaii case that they kept bringing up around Kennedy? And they're like, Democrats brought fake electors to when Kennedy won. Well, it was decided by 147 votes. The belief was on the ground that once there was a recount, it was going to go towards the Democrats anyways, even as narrow as it was. And it indeed did. The electors that were certified, that were in holy, but they still had the Republican electors there in case it didn't. But they sent the Democrats because they believed it was going to go one. If it went the other way, they would have gone, we as the state of Hawaii remove R3, and it goes the other way. And it would have been a big news deal. But they were still doing the recount at that point. But it was done, and it turned over. It was 147 votes. This is 11,780 votes in Georgia alone. And all these other states, there was just thousands and thousands. There's no way he was going to fucking overtake this. They tried again and again and again. The issue that
they've got the communications where they knew they didn't win. I mean, that makes a huge difference in all of this. When you confess that that you're trying to steal an election that you admittedly lost, and really the speedy trial thing is only cheese, bro. I mean, it's only cheese, bro. I'm never calling him chess, bro. I'm never doing it.
That's
cheese,
that guy,
bro.
Yeah, that's that guy right there.
The worst attorney in the history of all attorneys.
Well, maybe for Eastman, who, but both of them were, he was volleying it up and Eastman would spike it over the fence. Is that over the net is the way they looked at it. This guy also, they need to check his crawl space. He's one of the fake electors. This guy, I'm sorry. That's just that guy right there. There's bones there. I'm just saying that just weirds me out. And Trump, like you could tell, some of them are like lean into it. So they all got the same advice. Put your head forward like a headshot. Make sure they talk to their media people. So make sure you put your head forward so they don't see your nunt. And you can tell.
Vigo the Carpathian reference is the fucking best.
Oh my God, so many of these pictures. It's so great. And Trump thought this would be such a slam dunk.
Oh
and
my God.
I mean, why does this come back to like my weird noise? And thank you guys for supporting the show. Oh, I know why it is, because I'm in studio mode. I love you guys. There we go. People love the show, and with you guys on it, and that's why we're getting so many of these crossovers. I've turned off my alert box thing, and it still just makes a noise.
We can't hear it, so you just look.
Yeah, I hear it, but it goes. Yeah,
We're
right.
the only ones screwed here, Hal, so just keep going, man. All
right.
Brian and I'll keep running. You know.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. It's just like I'm being struck by lightning. Yeah, just momentarily. I'm having this like ischemic strokes, all caused by alert box sound effects, because I'm worried about my chat room getting blasted out. They hear it, so.
Don't feel bad. My cat took out my whole show last week, so you know. Literally, my cat. My producer cat, Dolly Purton, was at my feet, and I accidentally stepped on her. She jumped up, hit all of my power cables, and stepped on the power button. And my battery is shit. And I've got a brand new laptop.
Yeah.
My battery is shit. Will not take a charge. So I didn't know she hit the power button, and I've got like 30 seconds of time after I lose power. So I'm sitting there talking, and all of a sudden, frozen screen.
I feel you. I understand you probably better than anyone. And I will bring in Chip at some point, and we will mate them with Dolly Parton. I will, you know, we'll create a special breed of cat whose only job is to destroy broadcasts, and we will release them, the kittens, into the studio of 60 Minutes in Russia. And you'll have Slavyev running around going, "What the fucking cats?" So, I figured out. I understand what it is now. Whenever I go to my studio mode, when I have to pick another screen with you guys, that's when it comes up and I can hear it, and that's the bad. So I'm fine. I'm totally fine now. That said, all right. So we have many?
Sorry, I was going to say, did you see the letter that the House Republicans sent over to Fani Willis?
Yes.
Jimmy Jordan.
Yeah, asking for any information if federal funds were spent on the election, is like, because that's the only in he can have. He has no control over this whatsoever. So I mean, it's just they have to do something, because can you imagine the fucking phone calls they're getting?
This will be their little alternate date that they have for all the Trump indictments. They'll now say that whatever information comes from this or whatever doesn't. That's what they were trying to hide by indicting him this time. You know, that stupid calendar they have. Like, okay,
right.
He was indicted. This is what they were covering up. They indicted him. This is what they were covering up. So they indicted him. And like,
except
they need something.
What were they trying to cover this time? The fact that Joe Biden was at a Pilates class? Is that what? That was the.
He doesn't look good without a shirt on, Hal. He doesn't like what it looks like on the beach.
Yeah, Trump.
I think they're trying to distract from the fact that Biden's killing it in Hawaii. I mean, the federal government's been there on that. As soon as this happened, Joe Biden said, "Do not screw this up, people."
You know why that is? That's his problem.
Yeah.
Right? You know why that is? It's because they were covering up that sex child trafficking ring that the government was supposedly
there's a whole base underground.
That's why they actually had to hit that place with the weapons that they hit it with, so that they could go in and get the subterranean tunnels out of the way before the CIA, Oprah, and the deep state came in to something. I forget where it goes from there, but
it doesn't have to go anywhere. You can just leave it there. That's great. That's the best part about these kind of things, is that all you have to do is, like Roseanne, just peter out into craziness.
And
that's what I heard. That's when they guys go down to Africa and they eat the children there because they don't have Roundup there and the livers taste better. And that's what she actually fucking said that. She actually fucking said that. And then, and then her son picks up and goes, yep. And that's it. That's the whole conversation. Fucking hell. All right. So
and it's all of them, because Fox News has kids pooping in cat boxes again. I mean, it's just everywhere. Right. Every area that is Republican. I remember when they took lead out of gas, Hal. You remember that?
Yes.
Were you young enough? You remember?
Oh yeah,
it was because it was going to make everybody just you know what? I think they moved a little late, because there's just a lot of people out there that are just not in touch with. You have that, one of Fox is supposed to be serious reporters talking about, kids are identifying as cats and they're forcing the schools to give them litter boxes to poop in.
Right.
Hey, give me a break, man. Well, I mean, what reality do you people live in?
Also, why do we think that they actually care about? These are the people who are trying to kill Head Start and school lunches. honest to God, like I don't just keeping kids fed. Just go like, well, yeah, I mean, hunger is a great motivator. Paul, Brian, if a kid isn't starving, how is he ever going to get motivated to make himself better if his parents are shitty and broke and drug addicted and that kind of stuff? What you think us feeding him once a day is going to change the path of his life? He's got to pull him up by his bootstraps. Meanwhile, the kid's like, oh, is that a cat box? That's what I use at home. Fuck you. Get away from the lunch table. You don't have a ticket. I don't understand that part of it either. It's like they all of a sudden Trump cares about Social Security, for example, because allegedly DeSanctimonious is going to defund it or some shit, like cut it because every Republican wants to do that, and of course that's what he wants to do, and of course that's the biggest albatross around Trump's neck with Republican voters is he's backed into this corner because he doesn't like DeSantis. He's not going to cut Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, although nobody believes him. But like, then they're going to think they gave a shit about old people during COVID or whatever the next problem is, whatever the next big illness is. I don't get it. I don't get the faux outrage.
No, I'm sure somehow it aligned up with one of what Trump's probably best friend said, where it's probably not a good thing to say, and then they found out that DeSantis had voted against it or wants to do it, and it became like something that he's really happy about. They're saying that he has no idea what he's talking about, but he just knows it goes against what DeSantis likes, and that people around the country don't like it.
Well, so he ended up killing basically all our protections that we would have had against COVID and the spread of it, because it had Obama's name on it. He is such a reactionary. Because he's so ignorant about anything, all he could do is go, if I don't like that person, then whatever they do, whatever it is, I'm against it. He's literally a Groucho Marx joke from the 30s.
And it's worth reminding people that Obama left him a textbook that said, in case of disease, do this.
Right.
Do this. And they're like, oh, that's got Obama's name on it. Throw that in the trash. We're not going to use that. That was the first book
they burnt.
Yeah.
I have the best responses.
Right.
The best
everything.
responses.
The best words.
Right.
Well, the issue and we'll, if we can get into like sort of real stories, other than the fact that Texas, Paul, you're in Texas right now, and I fear for you right now, largely for a couple reasons, but not the least of which is that Kat Kamak from Florida. Whoops, we lost Brian in there. If you could see him right there. That's Kat Kamak, Kat Kamak, or whatever.
I thought they hated Lizzo too. They were really anti-Lizzo. These people.
And yet they have their own, I guess. Well, this would be their white Lizzo, right? That would make it okay. Although Lizzo didn't turn out to be all that great. Have you seen the stories about how she treats her dancers and all that kind of shit? I was like,
That's why they like her now.
Oh, right, sure, right. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. She treats people like garbage.
Us, I guess, right?
Yeah, she treats her employees like shit. Maybe, hold on. Maybe she could do a hip hop version of Richmond from Richmond County or whatever. Richmond.
Boy, he went under the. Oliver went under the bus quick, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he came out for diversity and basically did simply and honestly probably I have black friends, and that was enough. That was like. They went after it. For people that don't know, there's this song that like instantly it was like on fucking fire among the right. Glenn Beck, I almost covered one of his videos. We just never got to it because I didn't have time. Glenn Beck did a video about that music video saying, and the title of it was, "This is not allowed." Like the country's going to shut it down. Like the liberals are going to kill this guy. He's going to be destroyed. And then within 48 hours, the right canceled him because he wasn't sufficiently racist or bigoted enough for them. Cancel culture, it's a hashtag cancel culture. It's pitiful.
It's all projection, every bit of it.
So
accuse the other side of what you are guilty of. That way it confuses everybody who really doesn't pay attention to the fullest.
I love that meme that's going around. I love that meme that's going around that says, if your history is history class and everybody else's history is an elective, that's white privilege. That would.
It's an elective.
I mean, I shouldn't laugh about it. I don't mean to laugh about it, but that is spot on, man.
Well, I remember when history class got turned into social studies, because it was a mix of things. Because it was like well, we don't have enough kids for civics class, and we don't have enough kids for history class. They get bored by both. So maybe if we mix history and civics together and call it social studies, and we'll
I
compare.
had social studies before history. Like,
yeah,
well,
history.
The young kids took social
Right.
studies, and then in high school we got to history.
That's right.
I don't know what the hell the difference is.
That's where you break out into. You actually have you have math class for a long time until you get to geometry, algebra, trig, and all that kind of stuff. They break it out once you're more interested, and you can pick. And that's where
Right.
Out into college. But in the narrow of it, which is when they're talking about it, they're talking about elementary school and middle school, especially. You slam these classes together into one kind of soup of. Where the teacher can kind of semi-randomly get on, creative discussions to get the kids interested. I don't remember them trying to get me interested. I just remember them trying to teach me shit, whether I liked it or not. I think that might be the problem. I appreciate you trying to get people involved, but I don't know that you can be involved in learning something you're not totally interested in that you need to learn, right? By the way,
Plus,
trivia.
it took me till I got a lot older to be interested in any of the shit that I was trying to be taught at that age. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, now I'm interested in it. Then I wasn't. So if going back, I would have honestly been more apt to listen to this stuff now.
Right. And again, let's see. Hold on one second. I've got to open this.
Could you imagine being a social studies teacher now in today's environment? You'd have to be more nervous than a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs.
Seriously.
Man. Because I mean, you say the wrong sentence, brother, and you are done. You're going to have Planned Parenthood standing outside your.
Right.
It's just I feel for teachers these days, man. I really do.
Yeah, and by the way, this has been making the rounds.
Oh, Jesus.
It's pretty much a deadlock. That's pretty close. I mean, it's like an audition.
Smell the psycho in that picture.
It's like an audition headshot. That's amazing. But interesting. It's like her if she had Trump's real hair.
Jesus.
and if his caked on makeup was white instead of orange. But basically, good Lord. And you know what? Between you and me, this is exactly the kind of person you would expect to work for Kanye West. You know what I mean?
Actually, it explains a lot about Kanye. I mean, the guy, just if he's surrounded with people like her, I mean, he's got to be. I mean, imagine because we're all subject to our own feedback loop. If we don't
right.
reach out to get other information, we're always subject to our own feedback loop. Could you imagine that nutball being your feedback loop? Man, my God.
Right.
I love how Trump's eyes were so bloodshot. He actually looked like he smoked in the parade going into the jail. And then when he was on Greg Kelly's show, it just so happened Greg Kelly asked how he was sleeping lately.
Oh yeah, I mean? just
and
randomly.
then Trump's response, of course, was, "Oh, sleep like a baby." Yeah, you look like you do, but you look like you got a good 8 hours last night.
You cry all night and shit yourself. Yeah, that sounds like sounds about right. I
thought it was funny because Greg Kelly must have picked up on the fact that he looks like shit to even slip in that question, because that's just another one of those like ridiculously easy softball propagandist questions. How have you been sleeping, Mr. President? You look so good. Like,
right.
Okay.
Not
so
today.
How do you really think it's hit home for him yet? I mean, he is going. I mean, these charges have minimum jail time.
Yes.
So yeah, he is going to. You think it's hit home?
Well, no, because that's why he fired his attorney. I think he fires anybody who tells him the bad news. And that attorney more than likely said, look, this is a serious day. You got to treat it seriously. And if you say any of the shit you're talking about saying, they're going to add time. They're going to add months and years to your sentence because
I think all you have to do is look at his Truth Social, honestly.
Yes.
The shit that he says on there, and just anybody that would take the shit, anybody that knows how much trouble he's in and is taking it seriously would absolutely not say any of the stuff that he says on that.
Well,
it's just ridiculous.
If traditionally you found a way, if you thought there was a way out on a legit sense, like if you thought you had a case, of course not. If you didn't think like, well, fuck it, I'm guilty. This is the PR version of kill the witness. Because at this point, what difference does it make? At his point, at his age, you know, at the charges he's looking at, the only option he has is if there's some extraordinary act that gets like this Hail Mary, get the charges thrown out.
It's like a public. There has to be some sort of public, like display of outrage so big that it just makes everybody say, "Okay, we're dropping it," so that we don't experience such and such or whatever. Which obviously is not going to happen. But I feel like he believes that's his last option at this point, is to stoke so much chaos and violence and hope people cause so much violence in his name to try to get him out of this, that at some point they just say, you know, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I honestly,
which is not going to happen.
No, it isn't. Like this is he on Truth Social. Whoops, hold on, wrong page. 1 second, so we can see Boss Brian too. There you go. There you go. On Truth Social, he's just reposting like mad. He's retruthing pictures of that other people are posting, like memes. He's just all day, every fucking day. He's either got somebody just like, he's probably got a staff member doing it.
A lot of them are pro QAnon accounts too. Like one that he posted the other day talking about how Obama was Hitler's great grandson or something, and how Angela Merkel was Obama's aunt, who was actually Hitler's granddaughter or some bullshit like that. Like that's the shit that he's reposting and amplifying nowadays.
Right.
Because like I said, he's trying to reach out to every fringe group in the Republican side to try to gain that last little bit of support, and hopefully these crazies will stoke some sort of, you know, chaos. Like I said, that's his. Well, and it's not going to happen. That's what he thinks. Like he has that power. He thinks he has that power.
And it may be his in his mind his only shot, because and quite frankly, a lot of the elected officials, whereas they might not buy into this on the merits, might get so afraid of one of these nutballs popping off that they're like, we got to stop this. We got to stamp this down. I'm getting hundreds of calls, and people are going to, yeah, they're going to shoot up something. And so they'll try to head it off at the pass and hope they can talk, sense into the judicial system to not go after this guy in the same way that like he's a fucking cartel head. Effectively, that's where we are. I mean, look at how the cartels react when Mexico picks up one of the cartel heads. That's what Trump is like clamoring.
That's what he wants. Yeah. Right.
Well, you've got Sarah Palin coming out. Well, this is how you get yourself a civil war. Well, no, some of us have actually read history books, and we know the way you get yourself a civil war is when you let somebody like Trump steal your democracy, and then and I don't say it flippantly. I'm not like Sarah Palin or these right-wing Tim Pool, where it's been civil war time for the longer than the actual civil war.
We're in a cold civil war. That's my favorite one. Like, get the fuck out of here.
But literally they're saying, well, if you prosecute him, you'll get a civil war, which is actually the exact opposite of actual history, where if you let somebody steal your democracy, and you have a vast majority of the country, 70% of the country, who has lost their ability to participate in it, that's how you get a civil war.
Yes.
I mean, not by
can
prosecuting the coup people.
Maybe and maybe the weirdest part about this is, and I think the best chance our democracy has as a hope, is that at the Republican debate, one of the elements that was abundantly clear is that while a bunch of these dickheads said, yes, I would vote for Trump if he ran again, what they really mean is,
what the fuck was Christie doing?
Chris Christie? Well, no, he waved it off.
Was that a hand raise? Was that a finger down?
No, he went, not me. He did that, was the theory, but from his point of view. But ultimately, it didn't matter, because what they're really just trying to, and this is why he had a mixed moment, was they're trying to tell the Trump voters that I'll do everything he did. I won't do it in this idiotic, ineffective way that he did. And it won't be him, but I'm a good stand-in for him. That's what Vivek Ramaswamy was trying to do. That's what they have to sell to even get the base out there. I mean, this is effectively the worst possible Bernie bro situation that the Republicans could ever find themselves in, where they're just absolutely flag in the ground Trumpers that are about the man, not even the policy, not about, because he's their pit bull. He's going to attack the right people. I don't give a shit if he shakes the baby, just as long as he bites the right person if they come in the yard. And that's all they fucking care about.
I think they're grooming Vivek to be VP for Trump, because
I don't think it happens though. There's no way no way that group of people, especially Trump's old, that they know part of their brain's going, if he croaks,
that's what I know.
Somebody.
But it's just strange that the way that there's absolutely nobody on that side, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, it's the one person that they have refused the whole time to attack. It's the one person that Trump has made a point of highlighting every single turn that he gets. He even said it last night.
Because they know the Republican Party in general will not vote for a non-white candidate as their primary candidate. It's not going to happen. They couldn't do. Nikki Haley has a white-sounding name, and for all practical purposes is your standard American girl in that regard. She might as well be Sarah Palin insofar as her upbringing, but she is not white, and therefore that's what has kept her out of anywhere but the stiff-armed world of Republican. Like, we might use her as VP, as this kind of like, see how inclusive we are? We said might, but they're not going to. They're not. And there's no fucking way a non-white person becomes the Republican nominee. It's not now. Maybe in 50 years if the party still exists, or if it switches places and changes its name and becomes the Whig again. But
I'm just surprised DeSantis didn't break his neck. How quick he was looking around to see who was going to raise their hand when they asked,
oh my God,
vote for Trump. He couldn't get his head around quick enough to see that.
And another thing that keeps Vivek out of the running is he will not shut his mouth and keep saying things that are provably false. I mean, have you ever heard the guy talk about China and Russia and
that doesn't stop
his foreign policy information? And the worst of all, not only is he a Wall Street bro, he's the worst kind of Wall Street bro. He's a pharma Wall Street bro.
Yeah.
If they put him on the ticket, it would be like a gift from God to we Democrats, because I mean, it would just punch him in the face daily with everything that he does and says wrong. I mean,
but I feel like you do that to them all the time anyways, and it just, you know what I mean? It doesn't get through to them. It gets through to the people on our side, but they don't give a shit because we come at them with facts every day.
Well, if you look at who we're talking about, and there are only a couple of non-white people. I don't want to harp on this too much, but there's only a couple of non-white people that are surrogates for Trump or the Republican MAGA side of the Republican world. It's arguably Tim Scott is the soft version, and Byron Donalds is the hard version, right? He goes full MAGA, and Tim Scott's trying to be good for the general election, essentially. And those are the two biggest, like kind of non-white professional, like actual politicians who were elected to office who speak on behalf of it. And neither one of them is getting anywhere near a cabinet position or any of that stuff under Trump.
Yeah. Byron Donalds is a pardoned felon. He's not.
Yeah. And the same thing is true of Vivek. The reason that they can boost him is because they know he's not going anywhere. It's the same thing with Sarah Palin.
Maybe they think he's the easiest person to beat. You know what I mean? It's the person they have the best case against, so they bump him
lift him up and go, do you really want to vote for that? That's essentially the plan for everybody but Nikki Haley. And Nikki Haley's just running because she thinks she can actually win, and she actually believes in conservative values to some degree, and she actually wants to be president, and she could actually. I don't know.
It's just weird to me because Trump's not the usual lift somebody up to smack him down. He'd usually just smack him down type guy. You know what I mean?
No, I mean the other people who are there, because like I said, I think a lot of them are doing this whole like, of course I'd support him, and absolutely, and this is a travesty, and they don't believe it at all. They know he's fucking guilty. They know that we shouldn't have a felon in the fucking White House. They think it's ridiculous, but they also know that those voters don't know that, or at least don't allow themselves to know that. And if they want to get elected, if they want to win the primary for sure, but if they want to, have any shot, they got to get all Republican voters, because there are fewer Republican voters than there are Democratic voters by numbers, period, end of fucking story. So you need a third of Democratic voters not to show up. And you need all Republican voters to show up for a 1-to-1, person-to-person, vote-for-vote matchup to get you even at parity. And they know this. So you have to have, we could shed some faux-gressives and some freaks and some people like the Democratic Socialists split crowd and all that stuff, or some left-leaning independents. We can shed some of those as long as our base and our focused Democrats and the coalition that's been built over time shows up and just does the fucking voting. That's why Biden had so many fucking votes, is because he got those people plus. That's what the 11% lead by independents that Biden has right now, why it scares the living shit out of everybody, That's why. What's what Crispy? I'm sorry. I do not call him Chris Crispy
if you,
off the air.
If
I
you say
don't.
cream after that, I was gonna die.
Yeah, right. Don't. That's why he goes on, because we're going to lose. If Donald Trump is the guy, we're going to lose. And the reason he says that is because he might bring the maggots, but he's going to lose the other ones. He's going to lose the other half. And you can't afford to lose anybody. And that's why they're all cowards. That's why they have to. That's why they all have
I thought it was relatively uneventful, the whole debate, honestly. You know what I mean? Nothing really special. You knew what to expect coming from all the mouths out of all of them. And it really wasn't. It was like, what's that scene in Wedding Crashes? Not Wedding Crashes, but The Hangover, where he's describing the father. He calls him a big bowl of mush or something, white rice.
Right. I said it was fluff.
I loved the applause lines, though. As a ride or die Democrat, I loved the applause lines, because, like, sure, they would boo Chris Christie, but there was enough people applauding when he got done talking for me to know that party's fractured.
Yep.
And when they go into the election, they're going to be fractured.
It's going to matter.
And if Democrats just show the hell up and vote,
right?
Not only are we going to win this election, we're going to win a substantial majority in the House. We're going to win a substantial majority in the Senate if you just take this opportunity and show the hell up and vote. They're falling apart before your very eyes.
They all
take advantage
at
of
one
it.
point, I feel like, one or another. You know, each of the candidates got a pretty good boo at one point with something that they said.
Well, the problem is, if you're going to have any chance at the general, you're going to have to say something relatively sensible at some point, and the maggot crowd are going to hate it.
What's that?
Just anything, you know, like we might need to negotiate on on drug prices and that kind of stuff. Half of them are going to go boo. Like communism, like that's it. You can get, and that it's so weird. Like, again, I love boring politics. I think it's a good sign when politics. It used to be called showbiz for ugly people, and the reason was because it was like people who don't deserve the limelight seeking a little bit of limelight to get their issue, their district, their money, their pork barrel projects through, whatever. But ultimately, it was just kind of, it humped by in the background for most of us. The rest of our lives, it was definitely foundational because we live under the Constitution and it protects all of our lives, whether we know it or not. Like the stoplights and stop signs in the rest of the city we take for granted, right? But looking forward, I mean, do you think the get out the vote is there? Because I know how I have my feelings. I'm curious about you guys. That Democrats showing up next time with Roe v. Wade and Dodd, and whether it's Trump, which it probably will be, but if he doesn't drop out, in which case it's going to be like a dogfight between Ramaswamy and DeSantis, which is hilarious. I mean, what's the motivating factor? How do we, what's your thoughts on the show up next year?
I mean, one definitely good thing that I think Trump has done is he's definitely gotten a lot of people off their asses and into the voting booths. You know what I mean? Where they either weren't voting before or only on the fringes or only paid attention a little. I think that's one good thing that has come from him is a lot of people realize there's no way we can continue in this direction. There's no way we can have somebody like that as the president of this United States again and think that we can continue to be, functionally the democracy of the world. You know what I mean? It's just not possible. We can't do it. And, luckily enough people have noticed it and continue to notice it, especially where he's sitting in the polls as much as he is. As funny as I think it is that he brags about 60 or 50 or 60% where he won with 95% of the Republican vote.
Right.
So he's already lost 30 or 40%. But anyways, that's regardless of the point. But yeah, I mean, I think that's one good thing. A lot of people have been motivated by him and will continue to stay motivated as long as he's in the picture, and anybody below him that continues to espouse the same thing is in the picture.
Right.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean to blow my own horn here, or,
please do
preach to the choir or whatever you want to say. But, back in 2016, we weren't doing this.
Yes.
You know, we weren't. And now we are. This makes a difference. You know, when I first showed up on social media, it was high-minded Democrats talking about, well, our policies are definitely better. And they're like, yeah, but you're a commie dick. And they were like, but well, I'm not going to go low like that. And we're going to talk about school lunches. And we ended up getting our asses handed to us because we didn't realize we were in the fight. And now people, you know, I don't know if you've noticed this, but all over social media, the attitude has changed. I mean, people are like, screw you. You know, we're not.
Yeah. The worm has turned and is now packing an Uzi, as the line goes. I agree. I mean, I've said all along that there are certain weaknesses within the Republican Party, and they show them to you right away, which is how they attack you. How they attack you is their biggest fear, their biggest weakness, because that's how they project. That must be that person's biggest weakness. And the most obvious one is Trump talking about Afghanistan, saying it's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened in the United States. And that's when you can realize in a moment that while this man has no shame whatsoever, he's easily embarrassed. You can embarrass this man. And it scares the living shit out of him. That he'll be embarrassed, that he'll be made to look weak. And that's why I don't think he likes the mugshot as much as he's playing tough. And I don't think he's enjoying this for the press, and it makes him an outlaw, and fuck that. Younger Trump in the 80s might have been able to bullshit himself for a few weeks. Old man Trump, nope. Doesn't feel that way. And when he says embarrassed, that's what he's afraid of. So there was one point where he started using the word dope about everything. Like they look at me like I'm a dope. They treat me like a dope or whatever. There's one phrase.
It's embarrassingly outrageous.
Right.
Here I am like an idiot.
That one. Here I am like an idiot.
Here I am like an idiot.
He said that during one of the rallies, right before the election, where he's having to do a lot of these rallies to get out the vote, and he never thought he'd had to. He was totally confused. He didn't understand. Why is this guy beating me? Because he's beating on policies and he's not taking your shit. And you're hilarious. If people are allowed to mock you, and that's why in this show, I'm not going by any means, I try to steer clear of my angrier impulses. They come out occasionally. I'm human. And I'm like Biden, I'm largely Irish. So there's a bunch of that, bubbling under the surface. But I believe, and I think you guys are dead on about this when I watch your programming. And by the way, I want everybody to follow Texas Paul and Boston Brian on all their socials and view all their videos and cycle them out and pass them along, if you will. Please share them, because this is the best assault we can do on this ideology, which is to mock it into oblivion. For all the fuck your feelings attitude that these folks have had, the reality is they're a bunch of paper tigers at best, and and I would say used tissue paper tigers, most of them, and especially Trump, but everybody else. And if you push back at all, you're not afraid of what they call you or what they assert, or you can take a joke and move on. And not just, it's not, they expect all pearl clutching. And if you don't give it to them, and then you can make fun of them, especially when you can hammer them with facts and as the wadding in that particular ammo, they have no comeback. You could see it again and again and again and again and again. And
I think that's why Fox gets so mad when they see us laughing or joking or jovial.
Yes.
Or really happy about when Trump sees accountability.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I got a little delay there. I'm sorry about that, Brian.
No,
I apologize.
No, go for it. Go for it. I think that's
to double down on,
goes to what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely.
To double down on what you're saying there, Hal, about how sharing this has an effect. Jim Jordan and the shit that he's trying to pull used to work. It used to work, because you had a Republican corporate media that would sit there and they would say, "Oh man, did you see this?" And they would put it on 24/7.
Right.
Everything that Jim Jordan had to say. And it used to work. And the Republicans cannot figure out for the life of them why this isn't working anymore. And it's not working anymore because people are listening to us. Yeah. And I mean, again, I don't mean to blow my own horn, but people are listening to us. They're
I have no problem blowing my own horn. It can hurt your lower back, but everybody has to try it at least once just to prove themselves. I'm kidding. That's a Joe Rogan joke. But in reality, though, we do have to kind of learn. I think it's interesting you say I don't want to blow my own horn in this, because I think that has previously been our issue on the Democratic side, is that you don't want too much ego in it, because it's embarrassing and weak to be seen as, fully, egotistical and all about yourself and all that stuff. And by the way, there's a thirst in lieu of good leadership, or in lieu of the appearance of leadership, people will take ego and loudness as an exchange. And that's where Trump fit in a lot of ways. While someone's trying to be sensible, if you're convinced that there's an emergency going on, if you think there's a real emergency, whether there is or not, if you think there's an emergency, the person going this way is going to get more attention to go, everybody calm down. It's going to be okay. It's not necessarily an emergency. We're going to have to solve this. But just, you're going to listen to, go, we got to go. Like, people are going to run out a fucking door. There was a psychological test they did years ago, and they were like, how many people does it take to leave, to get everyone to stampede out of a theater if there's, believing there's a fire when there is not? And they were like, the number turned out to be 5, because everybody's facing the same direction. And the idea is that if it's on stage, it's different. But if you could tell everybody to go, but if 5 people strategically placed get up and get the fuck out, 2 people around them who are more inclined, right? Go, Brian, go. You're in Boston, though. You're totally acclimated to that noise. But 2 people around them will be in the percentage that will leave if somebody else leaves. And then that's 3 people who have now left from that section. And then there are a group of people who will leave if 3 people leave. And then there are a group of people who will leave if 7 or 10 people leave. And then in a matter of seconds, that cascade is enough to get the entire theater to fucking bug
people
out.
Are jumping over chairs by 2 minutes
stomp
in.
each other to death, getting the fuck out of there, because 5 people got up and fucking panicked, right? Because these people are so assertive in getting the fuck out of there. There must be something going on. It's the same thing when people stand on the street. If you look up at the sky, eventually people will start gathering around and start looking up at the sky, like a bunch of fucking turkeys about to be struck by lightning. It's a psychological effect, because why would you be standing there looking up if there wasn't anything there? And that is MAGA right now. Most people will look for a couple minutes and go, ask, what the fuck are you looking at? I'm not looking at anything. I'm just seeing how many people will keep looking up. And you're like, that's hilarious. You want me to help? And then you start looking up. There's nothing there, but you're joining in with this dickhead's gag, right? That's fine too. But at least you're doing it consciously. MAGA is a bunch of people who are like, there must be something there. He was looking. He was staring right at the eclipse. The Lord's coming back. It's the rapture. You know what? The Lord. I don't want to have the Lord have to bother taking off my clothes. I'm just going to strip them off right here. So,
yeah, but how? The advantage we have in that situation is now that we're getting loud and proud and getting out there.
Yeah,
we don't lie.
That's true.
We don't lie.
Yeah,
we have the facts. We have the truth,
right? And
the attitude on our side. We cannot lose if we just get out there and speak it and just really tell people the way it is. I mean, I get pushback all the time because one of the things I always say is we are better people than Republicans are, and people are like, well, you can't say that. That's just bullshit. We are better people than they are. Fact check me, please.
Right.
That is changing the political landscape.
Yeah. And by the way, being a Republican is not a skin color. It is not an immutable characteristic. You can stop being one. That phrase, when you say it, is like saying we are better than people who drive through large groups of people in their car. Not that I'm comparing all Republicans to that, but I'm just saying it's a behavior-based situation, not a skin color. But then the reason that those people might react, do you think it's because these are the folks that are, because you and I are Dem ride or dies, because it's actually easy and it's in line with their values. And I, of course, mean when I mean Dem, I mean with Brian. But a lot of them voted for Trump because they got an R on the jersey. Right? That's it. That's all that matters. Like I don't care if Michael Vick does anything to dogs. I just want to win the Super Bowl. And
James O'Brien on the LBC over in UK calls it footballification, where it's like, because you see one guy wearing your jersey, you're going to do everything you possibly can to defend against, a defense against that, anybody attacking that, just because that's your home team or, the team that you like rooting for, where in reality, that the guy you on your team just, he traveled or he threw an incomplete pass. The guy didn't really catch it, but they gave
Pats
it to you anyway.
fans. You're describing Pats fans, man.
No, stop it. We went this whole fucking time.
Hey, dude,
but really,
I'm a Texans fan. I take enough shit already, okay?
Right. No, don't worry about it. It's all right. But I just posted something on my YouTube channel about James O'Brien came out today or yesterday after the mugshot came out. And it's a great explanation of like how other people outside of the United States feel about, the people that still support Donald Trump and how obvious it is to everybody else that it's just bonkers to be following him or thinking that, he should be president of the United States again, or what he did is just in any way not a big deal or anything like that. And he had a really good rant that he went on, so it's worth to listen to.
Well, I'm going to wrap up the show right now, and I want to appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you guys coming on. We got to do this more often. I love the idea, and I appreciate both you guys more than you can even know. I love having two guys on who look good in hats because I can't pull it off. If I wear a bill cap, I look like an undercover cop, and if I wear a cowboy hat, I can only do that on stage when I'm doing a song by Bon Jovi or Cinderella. But
I don't know. You look like you were born to wear a straw hat at a country fest concert or something like that.
Especially when we'll get into that later. Yeah, man. Hey, listen here. I ain't got no problem with any of that stuff. And look, when I left Kentucky, I sounded like Elvis for a reason. Okay. And
brother, if I had your hair, I'd never wear a hat.
Right.
My cowboy hat is so close yet so far away. I can't. Reach it, or else I'd put it on.
Well, no. At one point, we'll do like a cowboy holiday or whatever. We'll figure out. I don't know if it'll be George Bush's retirement day or whatever. We'll figure out a day to wear a hat. But in all honesty, I think the best thing that we can do, and this to turn this from a live stream into a Zoom meeting amongst
into a Prigozhin. Is this the Prigozhin of the conversation right now?
That's right. Yeah. It is never get in the same plane together. I think first of all, it's a good idea. Secondly, we all fly separately for the kids. But in all honesty, I think our push to get people to take voting seriously and stick to it, fucking. The long haul. This is a marathon, not a sprint. It takes a long time. If you're half-assing it at midterms and stuff, we should, as the Democrats, I think we should, one of our biggest goals, besides just fucking showing up, is curing that midterm bullshit that's become historical as a genuine project to stop people from going, I don't know, I gave them 2 years. Let's see what happens, because this stuff takes longer than that. And you got to, and if you hedge your mandate at all, you give the other side going, well, they're not even here to back you up. So I don't even know why you'd fight that hard to get this in this bill in the committee meeting, because they're not going to vote for you next month anyways. They're going to give this place to us, and then we could flip it over. And that's exactly what they've been counting on for years. Now, we almost did it this time. We were this close. And I would argue they're going to lose a couple more Republicans, and it's going to even out. They've already lost 2. So their margin is down to 2. One's not showing up for work, and the other one's actually indicted, I think. So if they lose 2 more, it's a wash in the House.
And we also got to let people know that you don't have to know everything. You don't have to understand everything going on in politics. You just have to know what is important to you in your life and what's good for you and your family. And just look at the people that are most going in that direction. And 10 times out of 10, it's going to be a Democrat.
Democrat, right. Well, and also,
look, 25 years of Republicans here in Texas, 25 years of Republicans here in Texas. Roads are crap. Schools are crap. Power grids crap. Water systems crap. I mean, just how much more can you take? I mean, before you wake up and realize Republicans cannot govern, vote frickin' Democrat in the Republican Party, and then something else will come up in its place. We'll have an opposition party come up in its place to oppose Democrats, which is what we need to stay healthy. But damn, these idiots cannot govern. They don't
want to. They don't want to. The whole
Or
goal,
if
you
you're
know,
sick of
again,
not being able to afford the food to put on the table, while CEOs get $100 million Christmas bonuses and fly their penis-shaped rockets to fucking space for 35 fucking seconds with William Shatner at the cost of, you know, what it would cost to feed God knows how many homeless children or house God knows how many homeless people for even a week or two or whatever. That's a week or two they don't have to spend on the street. In a week or two, they could feel like a human being and maybe get their motivation back. Whatever that amount of money could buy. It's ridiculous.
How we're having too good a time. We're never going to let you end the show.
Oh, yeah, I know. No. I love it, and you're absolutely right in terms of just like follow your ethics and your morals and what you want to accomplish the best. And what you will find is that the fringes start to fall off no matter what. If you have even moments where you're like, I'm for this, I recognize what the problem is, but I don't believe that my farthest left friends or my farthest right friends have any idea how to solve it or whatever. I think there might be a negotiation that happens in the middle. That's what good governance is about. That's what democracy is about bringing all your best ideas to the table and trying to mix them together to solve the actual problem that we all agree on. That you don't have to disagree about the problem to both be proud of the progress that we have made and to tout it. And that is the other thing that's going to be hardest for us, because you and I, while they're still homeless on the street and while there's still, impoverished families or people trying to fight to keep up, it's very hard for us to go, the economy is improving, the life is improving in the United States, safety is improving, all that stuff, right? That it's going to be very hard to like boister that idea to people without them going, yeah, but the yeah, but isn't the important part. We're bailing water out of a boat that somebody tried to sink, and we're making progress. It's now not going to sink. Now we start reinforcing it and making it better, and that's the progress you build on. And you don't let it slide just because you're not there yet. Otherwise, I'm going to turn this democracy around. God damn it. That's like Marianne Williamson. Anyways, Texas Paul, thank you so much. And Texas Paul, you're on Shitter as Texas Paul. Yes? Is that your moniker on there?
Paul, it's actually Paul TX890, but I'm on Threads as Texas Paul. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So
look for me on Threads. I'm at
Midas
Midas_Brian23 on Shitter. I didn't know that for the longest time. I thought I was Boston Brian out there. I've been given the wrong
Midas_Brian23. Right, because you have Jordan's number. Is that what it is?
We'll work on yes, correct.
Correct. That's hilarious. And I'm Hal Sparks on everything because I'm named after a computer and I have no fucking excuse. And I've had halsparks.com since 1993. So I love you guys. Let's do this again. I love this chat. Did you enjoy? I hope you had a good time.
I love the chat. You have the best chat room pretty much in the world, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Such great people.
Good people, and they will help get this, like, we're going to do a major voter drive. So next year, I'm doing all these Sexy Liberal Comedy Tour dates, and if Steph doesn't want to add a date, I think we just podcast on the road or something. I think we all just buck up, find a venue, and fly to some of these red states and do find a little theater or comedy club. I'll book it, and you and me and maybe Tara as well, if she's up for it or whatever. We'll deadhead around the country, reminding people the progress that has been made, and to get them to, keep at it.
Absolutely.
All right.
I mean, I'm down.
I'm excited. I'm percolating with ideas. Until then, you guys are wonderful. Thank you, Texas Paul. Thank you, Boston Brian. Thank you, chat room.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you next time.
Take care. Have a good day.
Okay. Cheers, guys. Thanks a bunch. See ya. There we go. Excellent. Cheers, Brian. He can hang in the background the entire time. It's just cool. He's just that way. Anyways, let's see. Close that. There we go. And let me bring up the chat room real quick. One of these days, I'll get all my pages ready to go with you guys. There you are. Hi. So thanks so much. Great show. And thanks, Andrea, for helping discombobulatedly coordinate that this morning. It was terrific, and it was a really good time, and I'm glad they did it, and glad you helped out. It was really terrific. So and that we're gonna slice up that last hour and the time I spent with Tara and add it to going to be a podcast playlist on my YouTube channel, because now YouTube is now doing podcast things where all you have to do is take your videos and pop them over to there. So I think I'm going to add that to. We're gonna start cutting those up and adding them over there. Should be easy, and then that will be available for audio purposes as podcasts for people, as the Hal Sparks podcast, Megaworldwide. Huh? So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna cycle a bunch of people through here. I'm gonna try and get Brian Caron back on the show as well. And such a good guy. We have a meeting next week. I have another couple people that have just kind of shown up in the periphery. I won't mention them by name quite yet because they might even be watching right now. But I would love to have them join in. People who surprise me in the fact that they watch the show, and especially the live stream in the afternoons. And it is heartwarming and it is exciting. And I'm very proud of the fact that they, watch the show, much less would like to be a part of it. So you guys are awesome. I will see you later on this afternoon. Have a beautiful Friday until I ruin it by showing you terrible, terrible clips of terrible, terrible people later on. That's it. Okay, bye.